The clarity revolution, seeing through the illusion. Have you ever noticed how a toddler's eyes widen at sudden loud bangs or bright lights, that instinctive flare of surprise before comprehension begins? This visceral response precedes all questions. First, the physical jolt, then the primal need to understand. Watch how a dog snaps to attention and looks upwards after thunder, urgently seeking for the source of the noise. Children, once past that initial shock, progress to endless why questions. This progression from bodily startle to cognitive inquiry reveals our innate clarity-seeking mechanism in its purest form. Why do children ask endless questions? Because clarity is their natural pursuit. Their drive for understanding, for a mind unobstructed by confusion, is our birthright. Yet, as we mature, this instinct is systematically discouraged. We are conditioned to suppress precisely what brings mental clarity and the peace it brings. But what if I told you that mental clarity is not just a natural desirable state, but it is the ultimate goal of Vedanta? And more importantly, what if you could instantly unlock peace simply by letting go of false beliefs and duality? The hidden forces, fear and belief. Before exploring clarity's path, we must confront what blocks it. The most corrosive obstacle isn't just fear, it is manufactured fear. While primal fear protects us from physical danger, like jumping back from a snake, the fear I mean is psychological programming. For millennia, institutions have weaponized this second type, systematically instilling it from childhood through religious threats like hell and divine punishment, and social conditioning, don't question authority. Such fear isn't organic. It's deliberately cultivated to suppress questioning and ensure compliance. Whether it's through religious teachings, cultural conditioning, or societal expectations, we are constantly told that there is something to fear, something outside ourselves that holds power over our fate. The fear of punishment from a wrathful God, of hellfire, of devils, or of a cruel, unforgiving universe, that's the fear we're handed as children. But what does this do to us? It prevents questions. It silences the search for truth. Imagine a child, wide-eyed, curious, only to be taught that doubting authority, questioning doctrine, is a sin, a crime punishable for eternity. This is the grim reality within many organized religions, where simply asking why is branded as rebellion or heresy. Fear takes root in the mind and stifles any attempt at inquiry. As a result, we grow up conditioned to follow and obey without understanding the reasons behind our beliefs and actions. And this is exactly what religion and dogma depend on: people who are too afraid to seek the truth for themselves. This is precisely why they preach blind belief to children, branding it as a noble virtue. When the mind is clouded with fear and false beliefs, true peace is impossible to achieve. For the purpose of clarity, it will be necessary to define the idea of mind. The mind is certainly not a physical organ, but we could say that it is a certain pattern of perceiving, reacting, and rationalizing, which is fundamentally based on genetic factors, upbringing, education, and life's experiences. Although this changes through life's course, there is an element of it which invariably remains all through one's life, and that is based on genetic factors which form the basic nature of an individual. Duality, the great divider. Now, let's examine the crucial cause on which fear and belief stand and give birth to suffering: duality. This is the false perception that reality is divided into opposing forces, good and evil, pleasure and pain, self and other, and even God and I. This illusion of separation fuels our deepest conflicts, creating endless cycles of attraction and aversion. Whether in grand cosmic terms like light and darkness, or everyday judgments of right and wrong, duality sustains the fundamental misperception that we are separate entities in a divided world. This dualistic thinking is a major source of conflict and division in our world. It fosters separation, gives rise to the sense of superiority and entitlement among some people, hatred and war. People who hold on to dualistic views are constantly fighting to protect their beliefs, their rightness, and their sense of superiority. This leads to suffering, violence, and a constant battle to prove oneself against others. But what if there was another way? What if we could rise above duality? What if we could see that everything and everyone is an expression of the non-dual indivisible whole? In the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Krishna repeatedly advises Arjuna to rise above duality. He instructs him to transcend the notion of good versus evil, of self versus others, and to see the deeper truth of unity. The moment we break free from dualistic thinking, we can experience the peace that comes with seeing the world as one, a world where there is no division, no conflict, and no need for wars. The wisdom of Vedanta beyond belief. This is where Vedanta comes in. Unlike organized religions, Vedanta doesn't ask you to believe in anything. It doesn't demand blind faith or allegiance to a set of doctrines. In fact, it does not ask you to do anything. That's because there are no commandments or instructions to anyone. Let us understand again what Vedanta is. It is nothing but the final or the highest stage of the Vedas, which is a systematic process of spiritual and intellectual evolution. The Upanishads and also the Srimad Bhagavad Gita are Vedanta. The Upanishads are the fourth and the highest stage of the Vedas. The Upanishads are simply fascinating analytical debates and question-answer sessions between amazing sages and their even more amazing teachers. Studying Vedanta is your opportunity to learn to see the world as it truly is, without the distortions created by fear, duality, and belief. At the core of Vedanta is the realization of non-duality, the understanding that everything in the universe is interconnected and a manifestation of the same essence. The highest reality in Vedanta is subjective awareness, the awareness with which we experience the world. This awareness is the only true reality, and it is not bound by the limitations of the mind, the brain, or the body. What Vedanta offers is not a belief system, but a path to self-realization. It reveals that our true nature is beyond the dualities of the mind. We are not the body, the emotions, or the thoughts. We are the awareness that witnesses them. This realization doesn't require rituals, prayers, or sacrifices. It simply requires a deep inner reflection leading to an awakening to the truth that has always been present within us, but was shrouded by layers and layers of ignorance. The path forward. But this isn't just theoretical, it's practical. The insights of Vedanta can be applied directly to your life beginning immediately. This is not something that takes years to understand. With the right mindset, you can start to experience shifts in your perspective within days, if not hours. Please remember that when you come across anyone that tells you that Vedanta is very deep, complicated, and extremely difficult to comprehend, that person is not speaking the truth, and it is possible that they expect something from your ignorance. Well, Krishna in Shloka 2 of chapter 9 of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita states that the highest knowledge is not only easy to acquire, but also to practice forever. The key is your inner drive and willingness to break free from conditioning and allow the truth to unfold within you. Don't wait for external circumstances to change. The only thing you need to change is your perception. The more you reflect on what you learn from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the more you will realize that everything you thought you knew about yourself and the world was a limited perspective. You will see how your beliefs and attachments have been holding you back, and how letting go of them leads you to the freedom you've always sought. The Awakening. The moment you start aligning with the wisdom of Vedanta, your life will begin to transform in ways you never imagined. This isn't just about intellectual understanding, it's about awakening to the deeper reality within yourself. When you transcend duality and release the shackles of belief systems, you open the doors to profound clarity. You will no longer feel the tension between opposing thoughts or beliefs, and your mind will become still, free from the turbulence caused by fear, judgment, and conflict. Let me give you a striking example. Consider this. Can the sky fear anything? The answer is a no, isn't it? Why? Because there is nothing else besides the sky. Similarly, when you dive deep into your own mind to discover who you truly are, you will realize that you are not your face, body, mind, or thoughts, but rather the awareness behind them. This awareness has no form or size. It is all-pervading and eternal. When this understanding moves from theory to direct experience, every aspect of your being will radiate this newfound peace. You'll interact with the world calmly, without the need to prove yourself right or impose your views on others. Now, let's personify the sky and call him Akasha. Imagine this guy Akasha looking out of a house window. What would he see? Only himself everywhere. This is the awareness of a true Vedantin, seeing oneself in all things and beings. In essence, you will no longer be driven by the ego's constant need for validation. Instead, you will operate from truth, universal, unchanging, and eternal. No more inner turmoil. The inner turmoil so many endure daily, that constant storm of clashing thoughts, desires, and expectations will begin to fade. This chaos isn't your true nature, but simply your struggle in coming to terms with a reality that refuses to conform to your preconceived ideas, beliefs, or philosophy. Your true self is peaceful, unshaken by the fluctuating world of sensory experiences. When you realize this, you stop reacting to every little event or every little disturbance. Instead, you become the calm observer, detached from the drama of the world, but still fully present and engaged. This is the essence of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita's message, to recognize your true nature beyond the confines of temporary identities and fleeting experiences. The very thing that keeps you tied to pain, suffering, and conflict, your belief in duality, is the same thing that prevents you from experiencing this peace. Once you release this duality, you will realize that there is only one truth, one reality, your subjective awareness itself. Even your physical form is but a manifestation of that supreme essence. Step into the light. The path ahead is simple, but it requires courage. The courage to let go of everything you've been taught, everything you've believed, and everything you thought you were. As you walk this path, you will feel lighter, freer, and more at peace with every step. The more you immerse yourself in the wisdom of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the more you will shed the layers of illusion that have kept you trapped in cycles of suffering. This is not a path of sacrifice, but a path of realization. The realization that you are not separate from the universe, not separate from God, and not separate from the truth. You are the truth. And once you experience this directly, you will understand that peace is not something you seek, it is something you are. So now, the choice is in your hands. You can continue down the path of confusion, of duality, temples, pujas, swamis, babas, pseudogurus, and suffering, or you can take a bold step towards clarity, peace, and realization. The tools are here for you. The Srimad Bhagavad Gita offers you the ultimate guide. My book, The Ever-Relevant Gita, a present-day rendering by Tavamithram, distills the core wisdom of this eternal text and presents it in a way you can apply to your life immediately. Don't wait for the world to change before you take action. Watch the video, The Complete Srimad Bhagavad Gita, explained simply, no confusion, only clarity. Dive into its brilliant step-by-step analysis of how you think, perceive, and judge. Let the timeless wisdom of this supreme scripture transform you. Free yourself from the bondage of belief in duality. It's time to reclaim your peace and embrace the truth that has always been within you. When you know that you are not your body or mind, when you realize you are that which is eternal and all-pervading like the sky itself, why not be peaceful as the sky? I'll give you another analogy which I gave in the book The Ever-Relevant Gita and the video The Complete Srimad Bhagavad Gita, explained simply, no confusion, only clarity. It's the analogy of fire. We could argue that fire exists equally everywhere. This might sound like an unrealistic claim, but think about it. If the conditions were favorable, and if the necessary combustible medium were present, fire can manifest anywhere. Similarly, the self exists everywhere, and for it to manifest, suitable conditions and mediums, such as a physical body made up of trillions of cells, are required. To every sincere seeker, if you watch this entire video, absorbing each lesson, following each insight, you will discover something remarkable. Towards the end of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the clarity will become awe-inspiring. But remember, this revelation only comes when you've journeyed through the complete preparation. The build-up isn't optional, it's essential. Like kindling before flame or dawn before sunrise, every minute of the video lays the foundation for that ultimate awakening. Don't seek shortcuts to wisdom. In the video, The Complete Srimad Bhagavad Gita, please stay with me until the end as you've done now, until I speak of the takeaways from the Supreme Scripture and the truth will shine with undeniable brilliance. Your journey towards clarity and lasting peace begins now. Will you take the first step? Invest just 3 hours of your time. Treat it as an investment not just for today, but for your entire lifetime. The Complete Srimad Bhagavad Gita, explained simply, no confusion, only clarity. I wish you a pleasant journey through the Srimad Bhagavad Gita and your life ahead. Thank you. Stay blessed. Jai Shri Krishna.